With all those preliminaries done, we are here on Proc and spawned into the north side on a standard battle. And Blacklisted is in his Skoda T27. Now this tank really requires you to be careful, and it looks like he's learned that lesson. Whether that's, going back to what I talked about earlier, something that he has started to do anyway in his career in WOT, or he just did that in this game, or he just does that with the Skoda, he's going to have to speak to us and let us know what that is. But that's what you're going to see here, spawned in from the north. He's got 2 Skodas. Now what's going to be cool is old Blacklisted Chips from Clan Pro, which stands for players re-rolling, obviously, which clearly he's not, since he's been around since 2011. And then the guy named Dread, the Dread Fish. So we've got Fish and Chips here. Fish and Chips are gonna do their best at the end of the game with some kind of spontaneous teamwork, which is going to be pretty cool. So let's watch how this game goes. We'll get it started. Let's get this party started. I'll just go fast. There we go. So Blacklisted is going to come up here over to the west side. Moving on up to the west side. I know it's the east side, but we're calling it the west side in the song. Did you guys see that recently? Jimmy Kimmel, I think, did a redo of what was it? The Archie Bunker. What was it called? Oh man, All in the Family. And then the Jeffersons, and they got these current actors, and they redid line for line and the sets and everything. Some of the first episodes of that was pretty cool. Anyway, that's a complete tangent. Well, I'm doing that because there's nothing going on. So we're sitting over here on the west side. We get in the bush, and right off the blat, Blacklisted is going to show us that he's saying no. He's not going to show us. He's showing us a pretty good awareness of bushes and how to sort those things out, not getting too crazy. Getting forward, the EBR actually early on does a nice job, and he's going to find us. Now, what happens here? I don't have the sound up, but he actually auto-aims that dude. Remember that for a second. We're going to get to that in just a bit. So the EBR, like I said, is doing a decent job of raging around, and all of a sudden the JP's like, hey, man, I heard there were shots up here, man. So now we're all piling into the same bush. This always cracks me up. I'm like, what did you just shoot at? I have no idea. And he backs out quickly. And not only does he back out, he goes behind Blacklisted Chips, just in case he's shot at. Perhaps Blacklisted can block the shot. Now, this is good awareness on your part, Blacklisted. You've noticed that the EBR is moving up. I watched you do this game earlier when I obviously watched it. I watched you do this while I watched it. And I noticed that you were paying attention to what was going on the map, and you were reacting to it. So that's good. That does show, and you do show in a lot of cases on this game, that you are definitely thinking about the higher order things that have to happen. So here he goes, pushing forward. The EBR has proven there's nobody there, so this is not a bad idea. The problem is, over on the east side, they have a big problem develop, and that will happen in just a moment. I thought this was good. I might have even pushed up over onto the road, just waiting for the EBR to light something. Turns out he didn't. There wasn't a single thing over here, just the LTG, and he got himself dead. He done got himself dead. Now, a Churchill out there, some other stuff, I'd have just pulled right up into these bushes and waited and be ready for this EBR. So you're kind of moving it right here. Just stop. Just stop, man. If you'd have been set up, there'd have been shots all day. And you knew it was coming. You were close enough. Look at your draw distance was good. Even back here it was. They're so far away, they're not going to spot you. That's where they'll spot you. More than likely, there's no one in here because EBR has just proven it. Just hang out there and start wailing away on these guys. So we're going to come over here. We keep moving, and this is just all time wasted. Oh, man. Gotta just get a shot. All right, here we go. And then we auto-aim. And we fire. And we fire and bounce. And we fire and get a shot. And it's 2 out of 3. And that's not bad, but we auto-aimed. And you do this the entire game. And I'm telling you, this is probably one of your biggest problems right here. Auto-aim certainly has its place. And someone just hammered him. That was the ISU. Takes that guy down. Auto-aim certainly has its place, but now I like this because at least you're looking at this going, hey, I'm going to shoot into the side of this guy, and we didn't do the auto-aim thing. So that was one of the biggest times right there where you definitely did it the right way. Remember that it's got those 2 little turrets on the Oni. It's a long shot right there, but you'll have a better time getting into those. And then we're kind of watching this dude back up, which I would ignore him, and you're on a reload. From here, I would have moved up just a little bit to improve your shots and then started looking at guys like this dude over here. What about this guy? Look at that. Ooh, shots all day, man. She's behind something. Isn't? Yeah, look at that. He's down in a little fold. He's actually looking up and over the tracks, I think. Yeah. So he may have a shot there. But the Oni, he's out of here. Plus, you're going to have a hard time. Now, I liked your dedication to regular AP right here, but once I started shooting at Onis, I'd have dabbed too. You're carrying 30 APCR, and while they're not amazing on the penetration, they're certainly better than your regular AP. And while I'm trying to whittle down an Oni, I would just push 2, because really your team is starting to lose, and right now you need to do something. And one of those things is going to be pen, because you need the damage. So we're going to hang out in these bushes, and you can see what I talked about earlier. The east side has completely folded right there, and the EBR's messing around. The M44, the T40-2 gets killed by the M44. That was a good deal for you guys, but unfortunately Lorraine follows up and takes down the M44. And now, I thought right there you were going to cruise back and help secure the cap, but then you start messing around over here again. And we got the Oni. Oh, and look at that. Now you're okay. So shot selection. The first one went into the Oni, and the Scorpion G was right there. So I'd have never shot at the Oni. What you wanted to do was go after this guy. And now we're futzing around with our auto-aim. And we auto-aim and come out, and then we fire. And we're sort of looking at it again. And we're reloading. So my problem with auto-aim, especially at the range that you're doing it, is that you can't always tell which pieces of terrain or buildings are in the way, so it will aim for center mass, and oftentimes that's not your best aiming point at range like that, depending on the terrain and the buildings around, things like that. So I said we talk about it. I really think you have an over-reliance on auto-aim for some reason. Now, sometimes that's just, there's reasons, right? Physical reasons, whatever it is, and that's fine if that's your technique. But I think that speaks to your lower hit rate. If that's indeed how you've played the whole time, kind of just auto-aiming and blapping away, then you might want to think about a little bit more careful aim. And you showed that earlier, so I know you know how to do that. I would really suggest you try to wean yourself off of so much auto-aim. It has its place. Right? It definitely has its place. Circling, easy shots that are very clear and you know they are, so you can look around maybe and take on a couple opponents at once and shoot one guy in auto aim and maneuver against the other. All those things are great. And there's a little time lost too for me when you're messing around with that. You're actually pretty good at it. I will give you that. I am unable to do what you're doing a lot of times, just being able to pick a guy out who's moving across the map and auto aim them in third person. I do have trouble with that sometimes. So as far as that goes, nice job. T-78 gets absolutely obliterated by the ISU. And now we are in that kind of crunch time. And this was a good idea as I was yapping about auto-aim. Coming back here, absolutely secure the cap. So my point with all that is you had the idea. I thought you were a little late doing it. You could have been over here punishing guys, because guess what? That's what the concern was, that somebody like this dude gets in here. Now you auto-aim him, and thank goodness the ISU took that dude down. Thank goodness the ISU took that guy down, because we were fixing to goof that up. We come in here, and the T-27 actually gets a piece of you, just the top of your pixel of your turret. Now, where he is up on that train track. That's the only way he gets that angle for that shot right there. I thought that was pretty interesting. So you know where he's sitting, and then we got two guys hanging out here. And this was great. You come up here, and you go dark. You come up here in this bush, showing, again, good bush awareness and the mechanics of that. You're spotting the T-29, and we're looking to get spotting damage off of either the artillery or the ISU, and down he goes. The ISU nukes him. I'm not really sure why you backed out of that necessarily. You weren't spotted. I would have stayed there until somebody put some damage on him, or you felt like you could come up over and nuke that T-29. But that was really nicely done. So we talked about your stats earlier about kind of a low spotting number. It looks like, at least now in this part of your WOT career, that you kind of understand the idea of all that, and you're doing some of the right things. I don't know if I would have done this. I like the aggression. We're going to stop right here. I like the aggression, but then you went right through that bush. Right, I mean, I would have pushed up into just right here, into the bush. You were taking a bit of a risk getting spotted in this area if they had line of sight to you. That dude's pretty close. He might have a bad crew, or you just had just enough camo, or maybe that tree actually. Now, this is one of those weird ones right here. Where are the camo from these trees? Who knows? Were they just enough for you to come across? Did he just not have enough spotting range or distance? It's really hard to tell. Did the building help a little bit? Maybe the building helped actually cover you up a little. But that's one of those moves right there into cover and then through cover, unfortunately, that is a little bit dicey when they're that close, but I like the aggression. So we come in here and we find this guy, and we take a really long time to aim at him. Now, the problem with taking that shot right there is you're probably going to get spotted. First of all, you're outside the bush, so that's not going to help. But once you fire, the bush camo goes away. And it may be, because there is a KB-85 lurking around somewhere. I'd imagine he's over in this fold right here on the 6 line, probably hanging out. He might have got over the top of the tracks, but I bet he's over here in the bush. And you might get spotted doing that. And all of a sudden, these two dudes, the GW and the 44, say hello. So I like the aggression. You get them spotted. If you're holding the shot because you're worried about being spotted, then good on you. But you definitely wanted to be inside that bush. And all of a sudden, here comes this dude. And now we're auto-aiming. I'm like, oh, no, no, no. No, don't do it. All right, let's see this, because I think this actually proves my... Yeah. See that? That's the ground. That's him. You are aimed right just above the ground. So I think one of those at least bounced, if not two, and one I think went into the ground. Or did you only have two? I don't remember, but look at that. That's just hard. Now, that's what you want. See that turret? You want to hit that turret? Or the other one, which is hard to tell on the outline. It's over on the left side there. That's what you want to aim for. And I probably would have gone for this one. Or potentially, if you'd have pressed 2 and had some gold, because you still have an Oni to chew through. I'm really freaking out here with my hand. The face of his turret, the flat plate of his turret, can be pinned with a decent roll with the APCR of this tank right there. So that's where auto-aim really lets you down. It just was not a good move right there. And once I cleared that clip out, oh man, I'd have definitely hit 2. Now the good news is the ISU puts a big old hit on him, and you're about to lose your JP, who's right out there in front spotting this guy. Good on him. He got the spot. All of a sudden, that dude... How the Oni disappeared, or with it being 10 feet in front of the JP, it wasn't for long. It was when he stopped moving, I think, is when he disappeared. And the ISU reloads and takes him down. And now we have fish and chips. All that's left are the fish and the chips. 2v5. And this is where the teamwork starts. They've already kind of done that. The ISU hung out back there. He had the JP spotting in front. We had Blacklisted go back to the cap, doing a nice job clearing or helping spot the cap. And now Blacklisted is doing a little bit of traffic management here, right? Being a bit of a traffic cop. You come here, you go there. Tells ISU to fall back. Initially, I was like, I don't know if I'd have told him to fall back, but not a bad idea, because now they have to kind of come around that corner right there. It's a very small corner on this ridge, and they have to kind of come around to get at the ISU, because he's down below right there, and that gives then Blacklisted shots at him. If the ISU is here, and they're over here, then they got some cover from that ridge from Blacklisted, so he's going to come back this way. And now it's very tricky in this situation, because you need to find these guys without them finding you. They have 2 artillery, and you really want to get rid of 2 or 3. Well, 3 would be really nice, but at least 2. And I like to find that you aimed in on this. There you go. Perfect. And again, that's why actually aiming in most cases is better, as far as I'm concerned right there. You're able to find his turret. You're able to center a mass his turret. If you'd auto-aimed him by getting it on his turret, then the aim would have shifted down to his center of mass, and you would have shot into the ground right there. Definitely would have. Now, you may know that, and if you do, that's good, but then you've got to watch the terrain you're fighting on, right? Because on that last shot and a couple of the others, you were locked onto center of mass, and it was too close to the ground. So it's one thing to know the concept. The question is the execution of the concept and the knowledge of the map and where you are on the map. I think for me, most of the time, I will look at whether I have a zoom-in shot before I auto-lock. Unless it's a big maneuvering battle and I just need an auto-lock because we're circling, stuff like that. But I certainly will not go automatically to the auto-aim. And then we're going to move through the bushes. This is good SA tunneling through the bushes, or bush tunneling. Watch out going out to the outside of it any more than you have to. We do have to be careful, because we're talking a T25/2, which actually has pretty decent camo. It's a TD, and if he's got a net or something and he's just hanging out in the bush, it would be very easy for him to see you first, but all of a sudden he makes a mistake. He is out in the open, hanging out. He eats a shot. We auto-aim. Oh, no, auto-aim. Stop the auto-aim. Oh, man, that guy should have been dead. And, yep, either that was I don't know if that was a third person or an auto-aim, but whatever that second shot was, not staying zoomed in, that cost you. Okay, noted. Maybe if you zoomed in, you just got a bad RNG and it missed. But I don't think you helped yourself by either auto-aiming or zooming out right there. And this is great. Now you're in great shape. Now you just got to find a Skoda and a GW Panther. But we do have a time management issue now, and it looks like you understand that. we'll see that a little bit later as well, that you understand you can't chase the last guy. So the fish and chips are doing great. You know, this whole teamwork thing at the end, sometimes it just clicks. Look at the ISU following them up. Nice job on Dread Fish's part. So with the old fish and chips here, what is it? Panic is the mother of necessity. Is that it? No. Desperation in all things. Teamwork, teamwork. And I like that, Blacklist. You're like, hey, I'm going to I'm going to hit the cap. What did he say? I missed it right there. Well, we'll wait till it comes back up. There it is. Cover me, I'm going to hit the cap. All right. A little bit dangerous right here. A little bit dangerous. I'll tell you what, I may have moved across this middle ridge on your side and then moved up to this middle and seen if I couldn't find him hanging out here. This is the most likely place he is. The three most likely places are here, here, sitting up on the ridge, but probably not, and up here. With maybe down here if he's gone to full defense mode. But if they were in the middle of all these guys spread out, they had you cornered, so he was probably in this area here. I doubt on here, otherwise he'd have come at you by now. So my suspicion is he's about right here, maybe here or up here. So that's it. I said 3, there's 4. With the north spot being the least likely as far as I'm concerned. So we grab a bush, we get the ISU in position, he looks at the ISU, ISU's ready, he goes. Fantastic. There you go. Pushing on in. And this is another sort of rookie mistake. I can't think of a reason why you might want them to know where you are. There are situations where it's an okay idea, but I would not drive across the cap. You just told them that where one of you are. And that's great SA. And then you told them you drove off. So more than likely, I'd figure you were coming at me like this, exactly like you are. Then we auto-aim again. No, right into the ground. Oh, dude. And we end up getting him. Drive up into here. Looks like their artillery fired. And we're going to head back over here. And we definitely have a time management problem now. The bummer now is you kind of have to get on the cap, which means you give the other Skoda a bit of advantage depending on how he approaches. And he's got artillery. So really what he wants to do is he wants to come up to this ramp, poke over, and let his artillery start dropping on you. But somebody just clicked there, which was interesting, and there he is. So nice job. You walk in there, he's looking at you. You end up killing him, and he did see you as well, but he died for his efforts. And even had he got a shot off, more than likely you'd have owned him. Because you were, what, a 3? He'd need all 3 to take you down. I don't think he could. He might be able to high roll that much. I don't think so, though. No, 240 alpha, no way. So it would definitely take 3. And maybe a 4th shot to kill you. And now we got a GW Panther, and I agree with this. You talk about it here in a minute on the chat. There is absolutely no reason. There's no reason to go chasing after the artillery. And that was actually pretty cool. He actually blew up your supplies right there. All that stuff went flying by. And look at the ISU. SA for miles. SA for days. Nice job. He knew you didn't quite have enough capping points to do this until he jumped on. The artillery took a shot, and hopefully he can't take all your cap points. Even if he did, he'd probably still be able to do it. Unless he actually hit both of you and decap both of you. But there you go. Nice win, man. 11 kills. Unfortunately, Dread did not jump into your end game platoon for some metal farming. But 11 kills between the two of you. You end up with 2,288. There might even be a little bit more in there. 1,895. So I thought there was a lot of great stuff in there from you. And like I see with a lot of people with kind of your stats where they played a while and they're starting to ramp up and get better, that the thought process is there, but sometimes the execution is either a little slow or not quite right. Really, the biggest technical thing I would work on here for you, based on this one review, is try to get away from so much auto-aim. I think that's holding you back a little bit. I think you're missing some damage in that, taking bad shots here and there. But otherwise, man, I do appreciate you sending this in. I hope some of that information helped you with the game right there. I'm happy to look at any others that you have. If I look at more, then I get a better idea of your play style and can more laser focus the comments that I'm making. But thanks for, like I said, thanks for sending that in. Nice job between you and your pop-up platoon mate there on the ISU. Good job securing the win. Thanks for everybody else for tuning in, and we will see you.